Adidas Ultra 4D in the OG colorway. I've been expecting you. That's what the title of this video is, because way back when, it must have been about a month ago, I did a video, I think it was a ZX 2.0 4D, and that was all about an affordable price point, very much lower than those 4D lines, Future Craft 4D lines, 3D printed midsoles, Daniel Arsham's. I love it when I get to put up the Daniel Arsham video, because that is just a fire shoe. But that ZX, I think it was 2.0, I can't remember the name of it. I'll put the shot up behind me here so you know what I'm talking about. When it first dropped on some of the websites that I look at, like Sneaker News and Kicks on Fire and things like that, it actually said the ZX 2.0 4D Ultra Boost. And I was like, whoa, have they have they taken the boost and they've encased it in a 3D printed midsole, and I was like, wow, that's really exciting. And then when I clicked on the links and things like that, it just took me to that standard, 3D printed outsole. So I was kind of like, okay, there must be something there. There must be some story there. There must be something to do with it. Boost, Ultra Boost, 3D printed midsoles, 4D, Futurecraft, all of that tied in together. So I've been expecting this shoe to come along at some point. I've been waiting for a shoe like this to come along, and finally it's actually up there. I think it says August the 13th is a drop date, and this video is probably going to go up on August the 9th, so 4 days before the drop date. That's what I do videos about sneakers that are coming down the line, usually a week or two in advance. 4 days is kind of short for me, but like I said, I've been waiting for this one. And to be honest, Nike usually give you a lot of time to prep a video, whereas Adidas, not so much. New Balance, forget about it. You never get a chance to sort of look into a shoe before that one drops. But in the case of these guys, 4 days ahead, ahead of the drop date, not really my thing. But what is my thing is Ultra Boost. What is my thing is Boost in general. What is my thing is Adidas. And what is definitely my thing is 3D printed outsoles or 4D Futurecraft from the Adidas line. And all of that is wrapped up together in this shoe. So let's get into it as we take a close-up look at the upcoming release of the Adidas Ultra 4D. This is the Tokyo Butter 23 Sneaker Channel, Tokyo Butter 23 Sneaker Channel. This,毎日アップするので、毎日見てください. Every single day from Tokyo, Japan, I bring you content about upcoming sneaker releases, sneaker news, and sneaker reviews. And today, what's in the spotlight is that Adidas Ultra 4D. And one of the things that I don't know, often I'm a bit stupid and I don't really get things. And when I first looked at this, I was like, wow, cool, Ultra Boost with a 3D printed midsole. Man, Ultra Boost with a 3D printed midsole, that's so cool. Ultra Boost with a 3D print.
Oh, hold on a minute.
Ultra Boost. Boost is the midsole. So how could you have a 3D printed midsole and Boost, unless, like I said, the Boost was like encased in 3D materials, but they're never really going to do. So of course, Ultra Boost, they took out the Boost and they put in 4D or 3D, depending on where you're coming from. But in the case of these guys, it's 4D, so it's Ultra 4D, not Ultra Boost. But it took me a while to sort of get that. I apologize for my slowness, but in the end we got there. And today it's a great shoe to look at. And they didn't just go with that unique putting the 3D printed midsole on the outside of these guys. They took it some steps further. It would have been easy for them just to really trade out the midsoles. We're done here. Look, everybody, a 3D printed midsole on an Ultra Boost sneaker. But they decided to go a couple of steps further than that. And there's a few unique features on this shoe that are even more, taking it to the limit, pushing the envelope a little bit. And the first one is I just dig how they're contrasting the Futurecraft line, like 3D printed midsoles. Adidas 4D, it's all about the future, it's all like current, it's all about what's coming next. And then they go ahead and they choose to put Adidas Ultra Boost 1.0 prime knit on the top of this guy. So the prime knit pattern, and I'll be showing you by him here right now, that is the original prime knit pattern when Adidas 1.0's, Ultra Boost 1.0's dropped for the first time. Round about 2016, I want to say, is when that shoe first came out. And that patterning on there became kind of iconic because prime knit was new to the scene, and then Ultra Boost new to the scene, that whole silhouette with the cages and everything like that, all new to the scene, that full Boost midsole, everything about it was a really radical change in sneakers. It's 4 years later, so things have calmed down a little bit, but for sure, taking that patterning up there, the 1.0 prime knit patterning is a real retro step backwards, a look back at the past, a look back at the history of Adidas and the Ultra Boost line, or the Ultra whatever line. And then down below, like I said, they've got that 3D printed midsole, the 4D Futurecraft midsole, which is super future. I love that contrast. I think it's a great thing to have done for this shoe, and I think it really sets the two against each other, but it really, really works. And part of the reason why it works is because of the color blocking on the shoe. So that original, and it's not just the original patterning on the prime knit, it's actually like the OG colorway, if you know what I'm saying. It's not just the actual prime knit sort of patterning that's taken from the retro days. The purple, black, and a bit of white motif is a very early OG 1.0 prime knit colorway. So you've got the actual design and the structure of it being OG, but then the colors on top of that as well. And retroing that against the 4D Futurecraft 3D printed midsole. Very, very cool if you ask me. But like I say, it didn't just stop there. It's because that upper, that prime knit, is a deep sort of colour. There's deep blacks and purples in there. So what they did was they did a rare thing. Now we'll go back to the Daniel Arsham's, which is an absolute grail for me. When I first saw these guys, I knew that sneakers had gone in a whole new direction. It's one of those shoes that you're just like, yep, the times have changed. That's it right there. That's where we can sort of put a marker in the ground and say, you know, there's a change in the sneaker industry and it's changing sneakers worldwide. But usually, like that, those Daniel Arsham's, usually, I think I can say that, most of the time the 3D printed midsoles are in a kind of lime green colorway. Now we can put up the prototype for Futurecraft sneakers, which is right here, and I happen to know the guy that owns those, and I happen to have made a video about that with him, showing us those in-hand, prototype 4D Futurecraft 3D printed midsoles, and you can see that it looks like pasta. So of course they were like, ooh, that's a brittle kind of looking thing. We better change the color on that, and they tend to go with lime green. Every so often they'll toss a different color in, and that's what they've done today. Is they've gone with that black, and that black setting off against that upper and that prime knit upper totally works. It is very, very cool, and it just fits. It doesn't look at all like you've got two different shoes, kind of two halves, a hybrid of two shoes slammed together, and it doesn't work. It totally works. It's smooth between that midsole and that upper, and I'm an absolute yes as far as that like silhouette of this shoe is concerned. I think it's absolutely beautiful. And my only criticism of this shoe is actually down below, lower than that, is the outsole. Now potentially it might be designed this way to protect that 3D printed midsole, but I've looked at these outsoles a few times. Don't like them. They're a bit too uniform, a bit too kind of boring. That, you've got this really innovative sneaker that's grabbing different design elements from all over the place, and then you flip them upside down, you've got this kind of plimsoll, boring looking outsole on there. But it might have to be that way because of the midsole on there, so you need an outsole that will sort of sustain that and protect that over time. But if you think about, Ultra Boost themselves or NMDs and stuff like that, they really have iconic outsoles that are protecting the boost, but maybe that's just not possible on these guys, but it is still for me a little bit of a letdown. What isn't a letdown is one of the iconic features of Ultra Boost's 1.0 to 4.0, because they changed after 4.0s when the 2019s came out, but the first 4 batches all had that iconic cage on the side, and it's totally black to fit in with the rest of the story of the sneaker. But behind that is another iconic feature, the first 4 Ultra Boost 1.0 through 4.0, and that is the heel cup on the side there. Traditionally, it's really classic sort of OG feel to it because of that. And what they usually do is they usually print Ultra Boost on the side of that. It's sort of elevated off of the heel cup on there. Sometimes they do it in the same color as the heel cup, purple on purple, for example, but sometimes they go with contrast. And I think I'm right in saying I remember these guys having Ultra 4D instead of Ultra Boost, which is a major significant change. And also the Ultra and the 4D are in different colors. I think, and if I've got this wrong, I apologize, but you can look at it anyway. I think that it's a purple heel cup with a black Ultra and a silver 4D on there, which gives you a whole heap of contrast. If I've got those colors mixed up, just look at the picture and see the contrast there, and then go and have a look at the insole, because on the insole you can see it says Ultra 4D in there as well, which finishes out the sort of hits of design and the sort of structure of this sneaker. A standard heel on these guys, which usually has a sort of curve coming back instead of having some kind of pull tab on the back there, and then standard branding up on the tongue as well, so nothing special in those two departments. So back out, looking at the full shoe, thinking about that colorway, digging that midsole, absolutely loving the OG retro vibe on top of that futuristic 4D Futurecraft 3D printed midsole. Absolutely yes, this is a really great shoe. I'm glad, I waited a long time for this to come out, and now that it has, I'm not disappointed. I was wondering if these are going to come out and I would just be like, you know what, no. wrong. Yes, it looks very, very good, and it's a great job from the Adidas line. And they come at an affordable $200 price point, which is incredible for 3D printed midsoles. Usually in the past they've gone well over $300 and even $400 for a shoe, but now they're bringing that price point down, which is great for anybody who wants to get their hands on them. Great shoe, great job. I think it's a real prize for this upcoming season. Okay, it's time for me to chip off. I'm trying to do 2 videos today, and they both happen to be Adidas. So this video should go up on, I think it's Sunday, the 9th, and it's all about this Ultra 4D shoe. And then tomorrow's one, the streamer Ninja has done a collaboration with Superstar, Adidas Superstar, so we're going to be talking about that video. I'm actually going to shoot it straight after this one, but it will drop on Monday for my daily content. Speaking of daily content, I'm going to sign off, but remind you guys that I do this every single day, so that means that you are guaranteed to see me tomorrow.